Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Licklix. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to tell you that how to delete a record from database in Laravel. So in my previous video, I have told about how to insert data in the database with the help of Laravel each form and how to display a data. And if you have not seen that videos, do watch the playlist of Learn Laravel in my channel, and you can find that videos and you can also learn from there. So in this video, I'm going to explain how to delete a data from a Laravel database. So for that, we have this record like display data. These are the records that are coming from my the student table, and it is being displayed over here. So what I need here is I need a column name delete over here, and on every row there will be a delete button. By clicking on a delete button, it will be deleting a particular record. So starting with it, I need to declare a root over here, root get. Now I will just define here a link delete data. And see, if you want to delete a data, we need a unique ID of every row. Like this row have a unique ID of 2, because name can be same in both cases, but according to ID we can differentiate each and every record. So ID is a unique factor of every row, each row, so we can target our ID. So I have been declaring a variable, a root as delete data, and an ID will be passed over here, and that ID will be when this URL is encountered in your URL in your address bar of the browser, then it will be taking me to iController delete data function. So I'm explaining you this again, that if delete data slash ID will be any ID, it will be a dynamic ID 2, 3, 4, any ID. When this root is being encountered in your URL browser, then it will be going to iController, means this iController, and in this iController it will be moving to delete data. So here can I have to define a function with the name delete data. And as we know that delete data will be uh, will also contain an ID, so I will be declaring an as ID variable over here. So you can declare any variable. I have taken an ID variable. You can take here as A, B, C, whatever you want to take. So so this is a delete data. So when this URL will be encountered, and it will be moving to delete data function. So before coding this, we need to create a link of delete data. For that, I have opened my display data file, the display data blade file. I'm going to check here as delete, like I have mentioned here as delete heading. And in this part, table data, I will be writing here as a link ahref, a link of delete button. So delete link is being created, and also I will just specify here, like now it will be going to which URL. So here I have declared delete data URL, so it will be taking me to delete delete data slash, because this is delete data, and in this delete data we have to specify like ID along with that. So here will be an ID. So delete data here, in the blade file, I can define here, you have to put here a single quote. So here the single quote ends, and it will be concatenated with a unique row ID. So delete data means clicking on a delete button or a delete link will take me to this URL, delete data URL, and it will be concatenated with a unique row ID of each row. So if I'm going to refresh this, uh, look at the bottom of the this portion you have to look in. So by if I am putting a cursor on delete button of second row ID, it is which link is showing me? It is showing me here the link of delete data slash 2. And if I am clicking on a link of the bottom row, then it is taking me to the link of delete data slash 5. And if I am going to check my URL, so it's delete data. So if I am going to check here, it's delete data slash id. So it's the root is perfect. So by clicking on a delete function, the delete button, on this delete button, it will be taking me to delete data 2. So in the web file, in the root file, this is the delete data slash id, means delete data slash 2. Then this URL, when it will be encountered in your browser, it will be taking me to iController delete data function. So iController delete data function, whatever ID will be passed over here will be will be received by this ID variable, and in this ID variable now I am going to delete that record. So ob is my reference. So here I will be, because all the database, you can say all the database handling or whatever the database operation is performed is being performed by model. So student is my model, and with the help of student I will be going to find, I will be using a find method, and here I will be specifying this ID variable. So whichever ID comes, if it is coming, the second ID is been coming, then it will be finding the second number record, and if 5 will be coming, it will be finding the fifth number record, and that record will be received by this object, and this OB object then we will be calling a delete function. So delete is an inbuilt function. I have forgot to put a semicolon over here. So after the student model find that particular ID record from table, the reference has been passed with in OB, and with the help of OB, I will delete that record. And after deleting that record, because right now I am on this URL, delete data URL, I have to return my flow, or I have to return back to display data. So returning back to display data, I need this URL display data, that will be like taking me to iController display data. So I will be referring here as display data. So I'm going to refresh this. So if I'm going to click on delete data 2, so when I'm going to delete data 2, the second record is being deleted. So how it is been happening? For example, if I am clicking on delete data 5, the URL is being made here as delete data slash file 5. So delete data slash 5 means delete data slash 5. It will be taking me to iController delete data. iController delete data will be receiving that ID variable, and this id variable right now will be holding value of 5. So student model will find the record which will be having id as 5, and reference will be passed to object, this ob variable. So with the help of this object, I will be calling a function, that is delete function, and delete function, that is inbuilt function, it will be deleting the a record of that particular id, and after deleting that record, it will be moving back to display data url, and display data url will take me to iController display data, means iController display data, and that particular page will be displayed again. So in this way you can just delete your record in your Laravel 8. And this was all about the video of delete data in Laravel. So if you like my video, do like and share my video, and do subscribe to my channel for getting all the latest updates of Laravel tutorial and other programming tutorial. Thanks for watching my video.